Blessed be the name of the Lord, guys. I hope you guys having a wonderful Friday. Man, it's gonna be chilly here today. Gonna be a little more snow tonight, maybe a little bit, not a lot, just a trace of snow and cold. But I hope you guys are staying warm and staying out of trouble. Today's video is going to reflect on Texas, the stuff going on in Texas. You know, a lot of things are happening in Texas. So I decided to go ahead and reflect on that since I got so much material from Texas. We're going to be doing Paul and Adrian, Lewiston, Florida. Stan Prophecies also got a video up that he's talking about Texas, Prophecies of Texas. So we're going to do that today. And I'm going to get into the Bible today as well. We know we had a prayer group going out for my friend Avis in Florida. Actually in my hometown, Ocala. We praying for her to get the help she needs from the Lord. And, you know, we was talking last night a little bit and sharing Bible verses and things. So she reflected, shared a lot of material. And so I'm deciding to share one of those Bible verses that she shared with me. We're going to be going over to Isaiah 41 today, 41 chapter of Isaiah. I love it so much. It fits in with all the stuff happening. So I'm going to go ahead and share that today. And we're going to get into Maranatha. I had two messages from Maranatha that I want to try to share about our character, a quality of the soul, and high time to awake. High time to awake. It's really high time to awake, guys. I'm telling you. I'll be talking more about that later, that we have to learn to choose who we're going to serve, because it's not but two entities, two powers. And we know the one we want to serve is Yeshua Messiah. We know the one that, you know, the enemy, the devil himself was kicked out of heaven with all the third host of heaven, the angels. And we know he is out to destroy us, destroy God's people. So it's time for us to really wake up and realize we can't serve two masters. We got to choose who we're going to serve, who we're going to work for, who we're going to play with, who we're going to be with. Because I'm telling you, Yeshua was talking to me last night. And I'm going to come back and do some more studies and talk about that. But I have to do some Bible verses I need to look up and get it all together. Because he definitely wants us to come out of Babylon. Come out of Babylon and serve him alone. Serve him alone. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. And also I'm going to be playing a song today coming from my friend Whitty, the Witter song. But seem like we're just going through so much civil war breaking out, World War III. We got all kind of things happening. So we need to be praying for one another and stand prepared and stand prepped and prepared. So let me go ahead and get started here. Buy my ebook titled He Did What from Amazon.com, Apple, Google, Kobo.com, Lulu.com, Barnes & Noble. The link is on the screen. On Google Play Store, you can go there and find it. Make sure you put the quotation marks. Search by ISBN number. Download all our ebooks from fmcmi.org, downloads, okay? And also click subscribe, the like bell, subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the like button, click the notification bell. I meant to tell you, if you want a hard copy, a soft copy, hard copy of my book, Miracles and Things in My Life, from the time I was 16 and the time I was in my, some 16 to 60s, from 16 to my 60s, okay? And I'm still having a lot of testimonies and ministries and just things that God have been doing in His ministry and doing in other people's lives and missionary lives. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful little book to have. If you want to keep it and have one, you can write me at marner.campbell@gmail.com. And whatever donation you want to give on your heart, that'll be good too. So thank you so much for that. But subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the like button, click the notification bell. Fair use notice is in front of you. Title 17, also disclaimer and FBI notice. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this song here from I never can say her name right. Bhakti Rika Whitten. We're going to play her song again today because there's so much going on. I just thought I would fit it in with this video. So let's go ahead and play it today and get started. Let me go ahead and mute out.
come and confound the enemy. Rise up, my King and deliverer. Rise up, rise up. Rise up, oh God of the angel armies. Come and confound the enemy. Rise up, my King and deliverer. Rise up, rise up.
TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. The International Court of Justice rejects South Africa's demand to force Israel to cease its offensive in the Gaza Strip. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reasserts Israel's intention to fight on until all of Jerusalem's war objectives are achieved. Israeli relatives of hostages in Hamas captivity demand an end to the delivery of humanitarian aid until all of the hostages are returned to Israel. The International Court of Justice in The Hague, or ICJ, has rejected South Africa's demand for a provisional ruling to force Israel to cease its offensive against the Islamist Hamas and affiliated terror groups in the Gaza Strip. However, the court did stress the need for Israel to immediately take action to ensure its military does not break the Genocide Convention, and that it must prevent and punish incitement to genocide, while further enhance the delivery of humanitarian aid into the terror-ridden territory. In tandem, the so-called ICJ further asserted that all parties to the conflict in the Gaza Strip are bound by international humanitarian law, including Hamas, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and other internationally designated terror groups that breached every law possible many times over, including the Genocide Convention. Meanwhile, the ICJ did order Israel to report on all measures taken to give effect to the provisional order outlined by the court.
Regarding the provisional measure requested by South Africa that Israel must submit a report to the court on all measures taken to give effect to the order, the court recalls that it has the power, reflected in Article 78 of the Rules of Court, to request the parties to provide information on any matter connected with the implementation of any provisional measures it has indicated. In view of the specific provisional measures it has decided to indicate, the court considers that Israel must submit a report to the court on all measures taken to give effect to this order within 1 month as from the date of this order.
Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu emphasized that Israel will remain firm in its just fight against terror.
Israel's commitment to international law is unwavering. Equally unwavering is our sacred commitment to continue to defend our country and defend our people. Like every country, Israel has an inherent right to defend itself. The vile attempt to deny Israel this fundamental right is blatant discrimination against the Jewish state, and it was justly rejected. The charge of genocide leveled against Israel is not only false, it's outrageous, and decent people everywhere should reject it. On the eve of the International Holocaust Remembrance Day, I again pledge as Israel's Prime Minister, never again. Israel will continue to defend itself against Hamas, a genocidal terror organization. On October 7th, Hamas perpetrated the most horrific atrocities against the Jewish people since the Holocaust, and it vows to repeat these atrocities again and again and again. Our war is against Hamas terrorists, not against Palestinian civilians. We will continue to facilitate humanitarian assistance and to do our utmost to keep civilians out of harm's way, even as Hamas uses civilians as human shields. We will continue to do what is necessary to defend our country and defend our people.
Meanwhile, IDF Chief of General Staff Lieutenant General Herzia Levy met with field commanders of the 98th Division, which operates in the southern Gaza Strip, and voiced his deep appreciation for their unrelenting determination to press on.
We have deep appreciation. I genuinely think that something happened here, also in historic terms, in battling an enemy, and the quantity of problems per square kilometer, high-rise buildings and dense regions, a large population and many enemies, subterranean infrastructure, a lot of booby traps, snipers, explosives. All of these attests to the high level of professional combat. It attests to the strong spirit of the troops. It attests to the level of commanders, leadership, and the level of their soldiers was very high, and the reservists bring a very senior advantage of experience, capacity to rapidly adapt to new realities rather than facing brick walls absent innovative solutions. We see this happen in a very impressive manner during our separate tours. Therefore, I tell you, and relay this to all the men, we have deep appreciation to you and your subordinates. 3 exclamation marks.
While the IDF continues to degrade the military and governing infrastructure of the Islamist Hamas and its terror affiliates in the Gaza Strip, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited the IDF's Gaza Division forward headquarters at the Re'im base, which was subject to the horrors that were committed on October 7th.
Here, in this place, on October 7th, soldiers fell, the best of our sons and daughters, may God avenge them. Today we are planting trees in the blood and sorrow-soaked ground, living trees in their memory. Hamas came to uproot us, we will uproot them. Hamas came to wipe us out, we will wipe them out. We will deepen our roots in our land, and we will uproot our enemies. We will be here, and they will not be there. The most important thing is that we will continue to build up the communities, the moshavim and the kibbutzim. We will make them prosper, much more than previously, and we are committed to achieving total victory. Total victory means eliminating Hamas and returning all of our hostages. We will not give in on this goal. Therefore, on Tu B'Shvat, here, next to the Gaza Strip, I say as clearly as possible, there is no alternative to deepening our roots, and there is no substitute for total victory over our enemies. May we all have a happy holiday.
Well, the Israeli premier planted a tree with the hope of revitalizing the land in defiance of those who seek to uproot the Jewish state. Hundreds of foreign supporters of Israel have chosen to volunteer, helping struggling farmers facing a short of helping hands in light of the prolonged Hamas-instigated war.
And I was walking around my school and people are saying, where are you going for vacation? I'm sure you're going to go to Florida, maybe the Bahamas, maybe on a cruise. And I said, no, I'm going to Israel. And they said, why would you want to go to a war front? And I said, I just feel like I want to be part of this and help out and just do my part.
Well, we chose to come to Israel to help because it's hard to sit at home in Los Angeles and watch what's happening and not want to do something. And this was something we could do to come and help whoever needed help. And it's mostly farmers. And so we are doing whatever we're asked to do.
The farmers could not survive without the help of the volunteers. The volunteers they're filling the gap, and they're crucial to the agricultural world in Israel. Without them, many farmers would collapse.
Meanwhile, British Foreign Secretary David Cameron visited Turkey today, during the course of which he highlighted London's hope to see an immediate humanitarian pause implemented.
I think the prospects of achieving a pause where we stop the fighting and start looking at how to get aid in and hostages out, I think there is a prospect of that, and I want there to be a prospect of that, because of course a pause would be great for hostages, good for aid, and we might be able to turn that into the sustainable ceasefire that we want without a return to fighting. That's what I've been in the region talking about, and I think we are making some progress.
The British Foreign Secretary went on to stress his aspiration to see additional aid enter into the Gaza Strip and alluded to the UK's intentions to ratchet up pressure on Israel to follow through on this matter.
Well, I would like Ashdod to open because it's a proper port. We could get aid in there. We'd be able to move more aid from there into Gaza. But the crucial figure here is 500 trucks a day. That's what we need to go into Gaza at least. Now, some days we get close to 200 trucks, but that's not enough. So I want to see every bottleneck be removed. Nitzana checkpoint to be open 24/7. Kerem Shalom to be open 7 days a week. The UN to have the visas and the cars, the armored cars they need to move aid around Gaza. The IDF allowing the aid workers to move around Gaza and provide the aid that's needed. But of course, Ashdod opening would be another massive way of getting aid in, and it's absolutely essential that we get that aid in. I made the case to the Israeli government. They are considering it, but I know that it's going to take a lot of pushing before we get that fixed.
Responding to the Foreign Secretary's remarks, which essentially echo the position of the Biden administration, Israeli government spokesman Eylon Levy noted that while calls are made on Israel, any claims of Israel impeding aid into the Gaza Strip does not correlate with reality on the ground.
Humanitarian update. We note British Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron's call for more crossing points to be open for longer for aid deliveries, including Kerem Shalom. In that context, we draw your attention to the fact that Kerem Shalom has excess capacity for aid deliveries if international actors send it. We also note that Kerem Shalom is currently closed on Saturdays because the United Nations has asked for it to be shut in order that it be able to process the pileup on the other side.
While Israel continues to allow for humanitarian aid to enter into the Gaza Strip, Israeli relatives of hostages that are being held captive by Hamas have escalated their protests along entry routes into the Gaza Strip.
We are here because the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, didn't stop the humanitarian trucks over there. Hundreds of humanitarian trucks come inside to Gaza Strip, and only for one side, only for the Palestinians. There is no humanitarian steps for our hostages over there. There is no Red Cross visiting. There is no food. There is no sign of life. We don't know who is alive there or who is dead. We don't know nothing. It's unbelievable and unacceptable that the humanitarian trucks come inside to Gaza Strip, and if the Prime Minister didn't do his job, we will do it here instead of him.
That it is a complete absurdity that Gaza, the Hamas, gets to have whatever he wants. He needs all kind of supply in order to keep the war on Israel. And it is impossible that Israel gives Hamas whatever they want while Hamas doesn't give back anything. And we think that if they want to get anything from Israel, they should give something back. And in this case, we want to get the kidnapped back.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I'd like to encourage you, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. Moreover, it is important to highlight that TV7 Israel is a donation-based non-profit ministry with all of our productions available free of charge. Therefore, if you're blessed by our daily updates and would like to help us bear the costs, please consider making a donation. You can do so by visiting our website, www.tv7israelnews.com. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you during our upcoming TV7 Israel updates. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.
And God bless every single one of you. Today is January 25th, 2024, and welcome to the Grand Supreme News channel. Alright guys, so we have some urgent information coming out. If you can, please share this video. And it says here, the event battle between TX and the sleeping giant leader over the southern region is bringing warnings that a silver WAR is on the verge of breaking out in the sleeping giant. Let's stop here for a second. Guys, I just posted a video not too long ago, and I will be posting more videos tonight about what's going on in that state, TX. You have at least 25 states backing up TX. When I say TX, I'm talking about this one here. Follow me on this one here, guys. There you go. So 25 states are backing TX. And I heard that there's a possibility Marshal LAW might be declared, because they are urging, and when I say they, I'm talking about the LEFT, are urging the leader, Mr. Burns, to take control of the National Guard, meaning the one that's in deploying TX. Now, Mr. Burns came out and said you have till tomorrow. You have till tomorrow to let the BP, the border, patrol, let them in and let them do their job. You got till tomorrow. All right, guys, before I start get this video.
Okay, guys, I have two reports came in from off-grid desert farming with Paul and Adrian. This is the one was did yesterday. But I have an update, so I will put both of these in the description box, okay? Both of them. But I'm going to go to the one he just did here today and play a little bit of it, okay, about these multiple states sending troops to Texas. And then we're going to get into other material dealing with Texas coming from the brother there. I think it's another one coming from him, but it's not that one. It's another one here from Stan, Prophecy with Stan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and we can see what's going on here, because a lot is happening in Texas. And then also I will come and read another report. Something came on the news here about a Texas man wanted for excessively speeding through Colorado and posting it online. You know, I might as well just talk about it now. So it's just really a lot of crap. This is coming from the Bull, called the Bull, and they said that this guy, his last name is Dietzmann. He allegedly had a video call from Colorado Springs to Denver in 20 minutes. And he was going all through, zipping through everybody on the traffic, driving 170 miles per hour, guys, on the highway, 175 miles per hour on the highway, and zipping through traffic and all kind of things. So it's a report out that they want him. And these are all the charges that Colorado persecutors want him charged with, from menacing to engaged in a speed contest, reckless endangerment, reckless driving, speeding 45 miles per hour over the limit, engaged in exhibition of speed, and vehicles that he had a vehicle that had no plates attached to his motorcycle. So they're looking for him, and so just you be on the outlook, because he could be in your neighborhood. I don't know, but don't have him running into you. So it's so many crazy stuff happening, but that is involving Texas and Colorado, so I had to bring it out. So let's get on over here now and get into off-grid desert farming. Let me go ahead and mute this out again.
Off-grid desert farming with Paul and Adrian. This is January the 26th, 2024. I want to welcome everyone to our very, very important live chat this afternoon. Wherever you guys are, we are living in historic times. This is something for the record books, folks, that the United States of America is actually on the verge of a second civil war, and wherever you live in America, this probably will affect you in some way or another. And if things could not get any crazier in the world, what we have seen transpire over the last 3 or 4 days has just reinforced what I have been telling you and others for a very long time. And all this is culminating in a showdown in less than 24 hours in the state of Texas. For you guys watching us on Rumble, we posted a couple videos on YouTube. So if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go over to Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel for some breaking news that we did not share on Rumble yet. But for you guys that have been watching the news, the last 24, 48 hours have been historic. We reported on YouTube that Governor Greg Abbott has signed a proclamation from the governor's mansion declaring an invasion of Texas, and he has deployed the Texas National Guard to the border to put up razor wire and to secure the southern border, challenging Joe Biden and the Supreme Court and the federal government. And it looks, folks, that this is heading to a very dark ending. And this will not be good for any American. I don't care which side that you are on, Republican or Democrat, this will not end very good for either side, because if this indeed does go to bloodshed, then we will have people dying on both sides, and basically giving Joe Biden a win. So let me bring you a little information on psychology and how to war game this scenario that we're looking at right now. Everybody's been talking about the great rematch between Donald Trump and Joe Biden in November, right? The election coming up. It does look like that Trump will be the Republican nominee to take on Joe Biden. So how could you derail an election? What better way to derail an election than to cause some kind of scenario that you could institute martial law and cancel the election, folks? This would play into Joe Biden's hands and the Democrats better than any other scenario, wouldn't it? That he could blame the Republicans for the canceled election. He could vilify the Republicans as being bloodthirsty insurrectionists, just like their leader Donald Trump. He could demonize the Republican Party. And what better way to do it, folks, is to foment a battle. And it does look like the battle lines are now being drawn in Texas, and would give him all the excuse he needs to declare martial law. Do you understand that? If this thing turns bad, if there is bloodshed, if there's some squeal team sixes that go down to Texas, these little mercenaries with their AR-15s, and start shooting federal officers, then he could declare martial law, at least in Texas. And this could wind up affecting everybody that lives in the United States, folks. When the president declares martial law, then your Constitution is thrown out of the window. You don't have any more rights under martial law. Martial law is basically a police state where you don't have any rights. They can bust into your home without a search warrant. They can pull you out of your car. They can arrest you anywhere just on a suspicion of being a terrorist or a domestic terrorist or an anti-government person. Do you understand that? And this scenario that is happening in Texas is pretty much going by a playbook. How, the Biden administration thought they could derail the election campaign of Donald Trump through all of these federal indictments and lawsuits that the people would abandon him and they would not vote for him. And that has not worked, folks. That has not worked. It does look like Trump will be the nominee for the Republicans. Well, that didn't work. So what is plan B? What is the plan B in the Biden playbook? Well, if you start a civil war in America, then he doesn't have to have an election, does he? If you start having people shoot each other on both sides, Democrats and Republicans, or the National Guard of Texas shooting federal agents, then that is the start of a civil war, and Joe Biden, under the powers of the Constitution, has the right to declare martial law, where you don't have any rights. You won't have any rights. So this is what it seems like to me is being set up. We talked about this last year. How could they cancel an election? How, and especially on top of everything else going on in the world right now. I mean, we've got wars springing up everywhere. I mean, we got the ongoing situation in Israel. We got the Ukraine war with Russia. We got NATO launching their most massive military drills in Europe. Just in a couple days, we have President Vladimir Putin making an emergency trip to Kaliningrad today to shore up all his military plans. The world is heading for an abyss. And if you thought it couldn't get any worse, folks, well, it has gotten worse. It's okay to be patriotic. Listen, I understand we're Americans. We love our freedom. We love the Second Amendment. We love the freedom of speech. We love our Constitution. We love our country. There is nothing wrong being patriotic. But if this does evolve into a civil war, then a lot of people's going to die unnecessarily. And unfortunately, there are over-eager militias that are willing to go down and start shooting people, folks. I hope that doesn't happen, because it could even be a false flag staged event. And they've done it before, that the bad guys could dress up like the good guys and start shooting, and then it will be blamed on the good guys. That's how a false flag works. So you have to understand strategy. You have to understand military strategy. You have to understand psychology. How do you manipulate a population? Well, folks, they've been doing it for the last 50 years. They're experts at manipulating you and your family through TV programs, through commercials. It's called programming. And this is nothing more than another distraction, because people are fed up in this country. We are the most divided country than we have ever been in the United States. I'm talking about Republicans and Democrats at each other's throats. And it's not going to take nothing but a little match to set off this bomb that will affect everybody in the country. So I'm going to bring you up to speed on what happened just a couple days ago. Greg Abbott signed a decree instituting the invasion clause, allowing him to deploy the National Guard on the southern border with Texas to secure the border. He claims that Joe Biden is not doing his job protecting the individual states from an invasion. Well, folks, that is true, that the latest count is over 8 million illegal aliens have crossed our southern border. 8 million since Joe Biden has took office. About half that amount crossed when Donald Trump was president, but under Biden, it's almost double. And by the end of the year, there'll probably be over 10 million. Now, most of these people coming across are military-age men. And if you've been watching our channel for a very long time, we've been talking about a Red Dawn situation. Probably all of you guys watching us on our channel, both Rumble and YouTube, you've watched the movies with Patrick Swayze, and even the Thor, the guy that plays Thor. They made a remake of Red Dawn, where all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and there is an invasion of Chinese or Russian or North Korean troops in our country. Well, folks, that scenario right now is being set up. The invasion force for an invasion of America is already here. They've been coming in for the last 10 or 15 years. And that's the way it's going to be. You're going to wake up, you're going to hear on your news that certain cities are under terrorist attacks, that infrastructure is being detonated, blown up. You might even hear of suitcase nuclear bombs going off. I'm not trying to scare you folks, but that's, I believe, is going to be the reality that our nation is going to be facing very soon. And this plays right into the hands of the U.S. government. Now, there have been many science fiction movies over the years, one called Jericho. Remember Jericho over 10 years ago in Revolution? Jericho and Revolution, they were movies about the U.S. government staging a false flag and overthrowing, the people and putting us into a apocalyptic scenario. That the U.S. government set off nukes inside our own country and blamed it on somebody else. Jericho and Revolution. You need to watch some of those episodes, folks. But we really don't know what's going to happen. So far, at least, Florida, Oklahoma, North Dakota, and a few other of the red states are sending their National Guard to Texas. Folks, do you know what this means? That we could have a showdown with the U.S. military and the individual states' National Guard. That's a civil war by any definition. That is a civil war when the military and the citizens of the country are going against their government. And by the way, is this perfect timing, or did they plan this, that there's going to be a movie coming out about the Civil War? And then there was another movie on Netflix. I forgot the name of it, but just recently another movie with the same scenario about a civil war. So is all of this pre-planned? All of these things happening right now pre-planned to confound you, to program you into thinking? Are they manipulating the American public? And then we have the talk of a new pandemic, disease X, hitting the world. We reported on that on our Rumble channel. All of these things are in play, but I want to read you something, folks. I want to read you a little bit of history. Now, during the 1980s, there was a man from Romania called Dimitri Duduman. Dimitri Duduman, God sent him to America, this Romanian gentleman who did not speak English, with the clothes on his back in 3 suitcases with his family, to warn America of an impending surprise nuclear attack by Russia and China, basically by Russia. He came to America. He went around to a lot of churches throughout America in the 1980s, warning that Russia would launch a surprise nuclear attack during a civil war in America. Now, did he hear from God? Did this man hear from God, or are we witnessing his revelation from God playing out right now on January the 26th, 2024? And by the way, I have a copy of his prophecy that we got in a church over 25 years ago in Florida. We were attending the church. Dimitri Duduman was still preaching in different churches, and we got a copy of his prophecy. I'm going to read it to you. It's amazing, folks, that God does warn before things happen. We also have Henry Gruver. We also have David Wilkerson and other prophets talking about the coming destruction of America. So let me read this to you.
Okay, guys, go try to listen to the video. I know we heard a lot about Duduman on Prophecy with Stan and other places, Prophecy Club, you know, for many years. I had the whole, I think I have the VHS is still around somewhere. So we know about him. But I'm going to go ahead and get on over to this other video from, this is one I want to show you guys to go look at later. I'm not going to play it because I want to get into Stan Prophecy and play most of that. But this is one from Lisa Haven. They talking about this stuff going on. Something to do with politicians, you know, all the stuff going on. But this is an overnight shockwave. Something, he needs to quit the 2024 race to save America. I don't know what it's about totally. I got to listen to it. It's not but a 13-minute video, guys. So I will put it in the description box. And then also I'm going to get on over here to Lewiston, Florida and play this one video. And then I'm going to get into Stan because I definitely want to get into Stan and see what he's doing. This is that title I just read you guys about, that Texas man wanted for exceeding. But anyway, we need to be really aware of what's going on. And yes, a lot of things are happening. The prophecies are fulfilling. We're going to get into Isaiah 41 today. I'm telling you, wonderful, wonderful chapter to encourage you guys, okay? That we got to just learn to stick with Yeshua. Stick with him. Not run away from him. Not go and play ying, 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 ying. You know, oh, I don't know, the Lord, I don't know. Blaming God, hating God. You know how we do when things go bad, you know. We just want to walk out, get out, go away, jump off the boat. It's no time for that. It's no time for that, guys, okay? It's time to go to him and repent and ask him to help you and ask him to increase your faith in him. Because I'm telling you, we're about to go through some things we've never seen on this planet. Never, never, ever. So it's time to get ready, get ready, get ready. So let's go ahead and listen to the other material here now. I'm going to go ahead and mute it out right now.
God bless every single one of you. Today is January 26, 2024, and welcome to the Grand Supreme News channel. Alright guys, so we have some urgent information coming out. If you can, please share this video. And it says here you have 10 retired FB you-know-what officials and experts in counterintelligence sent a letter to congressional leaders warning that the 4-6 administration policy have facilitated a soft invasion of military-age men into the sleeping giant. Once again, 10 retired FB you-know-what officials and experts are sounding the alarm. The 4-6 administration policy have facilitated a soft invasion, follow me on this one, of military-age men into the sleeping giant. This here is going to be big. Please share the video. It's very important to share these videos. Very important to hit that notification bell if you can. We have more breaking news updates. I just posted this video not too long ago. The link will be in the comments box. Oklahoma Gov, Mr. Kevin, has declared that he is sending the Oklahoma National Guard to support TX in his ongoing southern dispute with the federal G after the 4-5 called on other states to do so. Guys, I want to bring something up really quick. And I just feel like the 4-5 has put himself into a deep trap on this one. The 4-5 is telling the states that are supporting TX to send the National Guard to Texas. And let's say something happens. Let's say there's some kind of WAR that breaks out. The first person they're going to go after is the 4-5. It's another repeat of J, you know what, 6. All right, guys, before I start, give this video big
Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is prophecies about Texas and the U.S. government. Look, folks, this is really serious. This is probably going to be leading up to the internal revolution that we've known about for, well, almost 40 years. And, you know, there's a lot of websites out there that can tell you what the news is, and they give you their opinion. But at the Prophecy Club, what we try to do is to tell you what the news is in light of Bible prophecy and what God and His holy servants and prophets are saying about it. And I'm probably not going to get through all of the stuff I have today. This is really important. Stick with me. Okay, first of all, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Also, if you haven't joined Prophecy Club, please do so. We ask for $9.90 a month or more. And that actually makes you a member of the Prophecy Club. You do that by clicking on the QR code down below. And before I get into it, let me remind you, we encourage you to go to empshield.com and get you one of these devices. This is what the newer model looks like. I have one on my car, wife's car, house, and the plan is that when the suitcase nukes go off and have 34 prophecies. Prophecies, dreams, visions, audible voices, angel visits, confirming the suitcase nukes are going to go off. And it's somewhere between 35 to 50 of them all across America. If you want your car to start, if you want your computer not to have all the chips fried, then you have one of these on your car and your house. Period. Simple as that. Now, if you go to empshield.com and if you use the promo code PROPHECY, it'll get you a $50 discount and it helps your Prophecy Club. They have videos up there to show you how to install it. It's simple. I'm not a mechanic. I was able to install it myself. Here it shows you exactly how to do it, okay? empshield.com. All right. Now, I know this gets a little tense, a little tedious, and I don't like legalese either, but I read this. I read all of it, and I think it makes sense, and I think it's very important, so we're going to read it. Texas governor declares federal government has broken the compact with the states, invokes invasion clause, asserts right to self-defense. So we're going to read it. From Governor Greg Abbott. The federal government has broken the compact between the United States and the states. The executive branch of the United States has a constitutional duty to enforce federal laws protecting states, including immigration laws on the books right now. President Biden has refused to enforce those laws, has even violated them. The result is that he has smashed records for illegal immigration. Despite having been put on notice in a series of letters, one of which I delivered to him by hand, President Biden has ignored Texas' demand that he perform his constitutional duties. The government is trying to use the law, saying, well, this is the law on Texas, and they expect Texas to follow the law. But I think what Texas ought to be turning around saying, you start following the law, then we'll start following the law. Right now, you're not following the law. He sort of does that. Let's go on here. President Biden has violated his oath to faithfully execute immigration laws enacted by Congress. Instead of prosecuting immigrants for the federal crime of illegal entry, President Biden has sent his lawyers into federal courts to sue Texas for taking action to secure the border. Continuing. President Biden has instructed his agencies to ignore federal statutes that mandate the detention of illegal immigrants. The effect is to illegally allow their en masse parole into the United States. By wasting taxpayer dollars to tear open Texas border security infrastructure, President Biden has enticed illegal immigrants away from the 28 legal entry points along this state's southern border bridges where nobody drowns and into dangerous waters of the Rio Grande. Under President Biden's lawless border policies, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed our southern border in the last 3 years. That is more than the population of 33 different states in this country. This illegal refusal to protect the states has inflicted unprecedented harm on the people all across the United States. James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and other visionaries who wrote the Constitution foresaw that the states should not be left to the mercy of a lawless president who does nothing to stop external threats like cartels smuggling millions of illegal immigrants across the border. That is why the framers include Article 4, Paragraph 4, Clause 3, which states, the state's sovereign interest in protecting their borders, Arizona versus United States, it gives him the article there. The failure of the Biden administration to fulfill the duties by this article has triggered Clause 3, which reserves that to this state the right of self-defense. For these reasons, I've already declared an invasion under Article 110, Clause 3, to invoke Texas constitutional authority, here it is, to defend and protect itself. That authority is the supreme law of the land, specifically Texas, and supersedes any federal statutes to the contrary. The Texas National Guard, the Texas Department of Public Safety, and other Texas personnel are acting on that authority, as well as state law to secure the Texas border. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Is this war? Well, yes, actually, to a degree, not hopefully bloodshed, at least not yet. Now, next article says the Union, that is the United States, is rupturing Texas, is now empowered to levy war. It goes on to say, no state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any duty of tonnage except troops or ships of war in time of peace. Here it is. Enter into any agreement or compact with another state or with a foreign power or engage in war unless actually invaded or in such imminent danger as will not admit of delay. In other words, Texas is saying they've been invaded, so that consequently means that Biden, shut your mouth. You don't have any jurisdiction over this. We are going to secure our border. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, well, you're not going to get away with this. Wait a minute. There's several other states that have already come along his side and say we're with him. Governor of Montana says Governor Greg Abbott is doing what POTUS won't. By refusing to act, President Biden is inviting cartels, illegal drugs, and human trafficking into the United States. We must secure the southern border. Below that, Southern Dakota Governor Greg Abbott is exactly right to invoke Texas constitutional authority to defend itself. The Biden administration has created a national security crisis and put Americans in danger. Their failure is an unconstitutional dereliction of duty. South Dakota has been proud to help Governor Abbott's efforts to secure our border. More, Governor of Oklahoma. Oklahoma stands with Texas. Governor of Missouri. The fentanyl crisis is here and is tearing families and communities apart. Children dying from fentanyl is 100% preventable, while President Biden and the federal government fail to do their job by securing our southern border. Missouri will act. In other words, other states are coming to our aid, our rescue. Virginia stands with Texas. Greg Abbott is doing the job Joe Biden and his border czar refused to do to secure our border. The Biden administration has turned every state into a border state. We must stop the flow of fentanyl, save lives, and secure our southern border. Oh, Stan, well, that's only 3 or 4. No, there's more. Listen to what Florida says. Florida Highway Patrol is patrolling the southern border with Texas officials at the... What? Florida Highway Patrol says it's down in Texas, assisting Texas. He says if the Constitution really made states powerless to defend themselves against an invasion, it would have never ratified it in the first place. Texas would have never joined the Union when it did, and Texas is upholding the law while Biden is flouting it. Florida will keep assisting Texas with personnel and assets. Brothers and sisters, them's fighting words. And that's fighting words not just from Texas, but several of the other states. My guess is over the coming months, we're going to see several more states. I'm going to show you that in prophecy here in just a second. Yeah, but no one is really going to go along with this. Yes, they are. 66% of Southern Republicans are in favor of seceding from the U.S., a poll shows. Over my lifetime, I have heard people say we should secede. So Texans are probably more proud to be a Texan than they are a citizen of the United States. But all of this has only made it even worse, and there's more to this poll. The poll released by Brightline Watch Wednesday, this is recent, 66% of the Republicans in the South supported leaving the U.S. and forming a new country. Those sentiments were shared by, now listen to this, 50% of the independents and 20% of the Democrats. That's getting pretty close to 100% of the Texans say, get us out of here. Overall support for leaving the Union among southern states listed Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, 44%. That's nothing to sneeze at. On the other coast, the highest level of support for seceding from the U.S. was in the western U.S., where, get a load of this, 47% of the Democrats backed secession. Are you listening? Compared to 33% of the independents and 27% of the Republicans. Again, that's a high percentage. Over the Pacific area, including Alaska, California, Oregon, Hawaii, and Washington State, was 39%. So even in the liberal areas, 40% of the people are saying secede. They're saying they're fed up. Secession support in the Northeast was 34%, the mountain area 34%, the heartland was 30%. So there's a lot of folks that are sick and tired of what's going on. Now, I'm only going to read one paragraph. I'm skipping 4 paragraphs of Coverstone. House divided against itself shall not stand. I saw the man, that's the angel that comes to him, that I'd seen in previous dreams standing in a place where the president gives the State of Union address. He tapped the microphone 3 times, stated in a loud voice, a house divided against itself shall not stand. Now that's, I believe, the angel of God, perhaps even Jesus himself, giving a warning to America, if you don't fix yourself, you will not stand. And the emphasis was on the word shall. He then pushed the microphone down and walked to the door. The rear of the room on the wall were several light switches, and he flipped them all off walked out the door, pulled the door shut. Meaning, America, if you remain divided, you're done. Stick a fork in you. Now, I have covered this page many, many thousands of times, but I only want to say a couple of sentences. The fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. Now, I don't know if that's the good guys kicking out the bad guys, or if that's the bad guys kicking out the good guys. I don't know if it's going to start in 2024, but Dmitry was given this warning August 3rd of 1984. Add 40 years to that, that would be August 3rd, 2024. 40 is a number of judgment. Reign 40 days, 40 nights, a bunch of 40s in the Bible. So it may very well be that August 3rd of 2024 is when the internal revolution starts. I don't want to think that, but I'm certainly watching to see if that happens. The point I'm trying to make today is internal revolution is the fall of America. That's the start of it. Now, let me show you what Chris Reed said. I'm not going to read all this, read this a bunch of times too. But I do want to say the first part is talking about the dollar dropping, food shortages, civil unrest, Israeli two-state solution, earthquake hits America, and then more states secede from the nation in rebellion to the federal government. So if you want to know what the prophecies say about America splitting, Texas and other states seceding, the prophecies say it's going to happen. We're about to become a more divided nation. Now, let's specifically get into the prophecies about secession. Terry Bennett said, I saw in the government area, we will go through a dramatic change in our government and there will be a time of anarchy and chaos. I think we're only in the early phases of that now. For a while, we'll have a fractional government, that's a nation divided, which means basically our government come down to the state level because of the military stepping in and having to seize control of federal government. That's an internal revolution. You'd call it a coup, but in all honesty, to help our nation, that's why our military will step in, and there's more. These are some prophetic headlines from Terry Bennett. There will be a governmental takeover from within. That's an internal revolution. Chaos, anarchy, and lawlessness will ensue. Some states will stand together against invasion. Boom. That's exactly what Texas is doing even as we speak. The fix is in. I like this one. Now let me explain this one. I don't normally consider too much about what a computer says, but this guy's got a lot of people listening to him. He's drawn up a computer program that predicts the future. Now, this is not God. We know that. We know it's just a computer. But I think it's very interesting, some things it says that kind of lines up with prophecy, so I'll read it. George Soros' son has come out and said that Trump would not go away unless he is in prison. We don't think he's going to go away either unless he's in prison. I'm not at liberty to say at this time, but the fix is in, and Trump will be imprisoned in the Washington, D.C. case. At least that's the plan. All right, hang on. Let's talk about that a second. So Trump is put in prison. And if he really did sign that executive order, handing all of the power over to the military before he left the office, the Oval Office, if he really did do that, then probably at that point, the military is going to step in. Now, it's just a guess, but it's a very good guess. Now, watch what else the computer says. Soros has funded the case in Colorado to kick Trump off the ballot. This is a war for the very soul of the United States. I've had to look at these forecasts projected by the computer. It is certainly, I'm going to skip part of that. We must crash and burn as a nation. Only then will the blind finally see, and those who have understood these forecasts will get to perhaps spreading the word. They have done everything they possibly can to stop Trump, for they know he will do his best to prevent their agenda. Yet, unfortunately, the computer has warned that either side, now this is important, either side will not accept the 2024 election. I'm going to read that again. I think that's astounding. The computer has warned that either side, or I would say neither side, will accept the 2024 election. In other words, the Dems get in, Republicans won't accept that. Republican gets in, the Dems won't accept that. What is that? That's a nation divided. That's an internal revolution. So I think it is safe to say that the internal revolution spoken to Dmitry 40 years ago will happen in 2024. Now, I can't say, thus saith the Lord. That's my guess. You got a guess? I got a guess. That's my guess. The Attorney General has now come out pushing for a speedy trial in the D.C. because they think throwing Trump into prison will be the only way to stop him. And I have to say, I agree. My deep concern is that we are approaching the 19th cycle of the 8.6. I don't understand all that, and I don't want to dig into all of it. The 8.6 from the American Civil War. This only adds to the rising tensions which will escalate into 2026. These people are so desperate to impose their totalitarian state that they will refuse to back off. Well, it's not a totalitarian state. These people are so desperate to put the Antichrist on the throne, they will stop at nothing. Just like they told Benjamin Fulford, we've been ruling this planet for thousands of years and we will destroy it rather than give it up. In other words, if we can't rule America, we'll destroy it. We'll destroy it with things like suitcase nukes, or we'll bring Russia over to attack and defeat it in 1 day and 1 hour. I hope you're getting this. This is real serious stuff. If they cannot imprison Trump, they will assassinate him. We are approaching the last 8.6 years in his 51.6-year cycle, and they will be the darkest days of our lives. No surprise to the prophecy student. My concern is that if the Supreme Court yields this conspiracy to imprison Trump, and he goes into a lot of details I'm going to skip. I'm going to jump down to putting him in prison will lower the tensions, but that will not end well for them or the nation. Trump would indeed end the war in 24 hours, talking about Ukraine. He says all you have to do is cut off funds for the Ukrainian government employees whom Biden is paying their salaries and pensions. Insists that Zelensky honors the Minsk agreement and the war is over. Those in power right now want war, and they have no intention of ending anything. There are computer projections for the 2024 election. They say Trump should win. As you can see, 4 out of 6 models, but the models number 3 and number 4 are shocking. These show such a landslide with 61 to 35% or 59 to 37% projections. And that scares the globalists. That scares Satan to think he's not going to get his man on the throne. But prophecy says God allows it. And Revelation 18 says, and it was given him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. So we are probably looking at an internal revolution prophesied 40 years ago in 2024. Let's go on. The prospect that the next president, by the way, you need to send this out to your friends, neighbors, relatives. They need to hear this. They might not like you, but this would be a good point to lose them as a friend if they don't believe this. And then when it starts coming to pass, they'll come back knocking saying, okay, you have my attention. What else is coming? Now that I have your attention, and then they'll start listening. The prospect that the next presidential election in 2028 will not even take place is a very high probability according to our computer. I'm going to say there's a very good possibility the 2024 election might not take place. Let's go on though. I'm just going to read the yellow. The computer says Trump will win. Personally, I cannot see how they will allow a fair election with that result. In other words, what he's saying is there's not going to be an election in 20. That's what he's saying. It's what the computer's saying. There's not going to be an election. Even if it elects Trump, the other guys are not going to let Trump in. If it elects Biden, the good guys are going to let him in. So, I mean, we are looking at an internal revolution in 2024 is my guess. It's not my prediction. I don't know. But it is 40 years since the prophecy was spoken. Now, let me show you something else. President Donald Trump. This is what he said. I saw it on Fox News. I recorded it. I wrote down these words, and I've kept them right there for all these years. Donald Trump said, I think considering all the things going on, and you know what I mean by that, the fake news, the commies of the world, all the bad things that went on, it is called the swamp. And you know what happened? You know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done it but me. I caught all this corruption that was going on, and nobody else could have done it. Now, is he kidding? Or does he know something more he's not telling us? Now let's jump to Timothy Dixon. The Lord took me by both of my hands. Instantly, I was looking down the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army was in the middle of the Red Sea, and I saw the seas start closing in on Pharaoh's army. Then the headline of the Washington Post read, "He's back. President Donald J. Trump is back," in big letters. I saw a report of the Washington, D.C. TV station with Fox 5 Alive on the microphone say, quote, "They just called in the National Guard. They're putting security fences around the White House, Supreme Court, and all the other important buildings. There is hostility due to the overwhelming truth coming out about the cover-up of the election now exposed in this takeover of America." Did you catch that? What they're saying is they have set a trap. I don't know what the trap is, but they've set a trap, and they're going to catch all the bad guys in this election. That's what it's saying. People were arrested. A lot of mischief was coming to light. There was emergency hearings at the Supreme Court building. There was anger and hostility. It was not just over Roe v. Wade. The truth was intentionally being revealed. God was exposing and shaking things. I saw senators, governors, and other government officials who had not accepted any cheating see video proof that was undeniable, and they changed their minds instantly. Things flipped and totally turned around instantly, and I hope that happens. I'm skeptical of that, but I hope that happens. The news was forced to air this. It was overwhelming. The evidence took over the deep state. About 12 to 15 senators and mixed political leaders saw the video of the silencing of the witnesses. Now, the footage of the silencing of the witnesses was to take them out. They were calling the video the silence of the lambs, and they called the hostilities taking place inside the Capitol. The tables were turned against evil, now revealing the truth. I saw some handcuffed, arrested, others running to avoid arrest. It happened fast. The deep state didn't have time to retaliate. I saw Mike Pence on the steps of the Supreme Court. He was actually helping overturn this evil. That was all carefully planned and executed. It was a rehearsal of procedures. They were reversing evil. They had some trouble completing the reversal, but there were delays in restoring the presidency. They had to come up with a new strategy. The reporter said, quote, "It appears that we've been at war with ourselves, a civil war, but we never fired a shot." One more. March 2016, Henry Gruver, favorite speaker we had out of the 136 speakers we had. I opened the door to see DJT, I'll say, and his wife dressed like a king. His wife is carrying a shawl on her left arm made of gold tweed with big royal jewels in it. Now, why a king? I think that the all-capital United States of America government corporation formed in, 1836 or something like that, 1871, where they took over the government and made it a corporation. That's what Biden is president of. But what I believe Trump will come back as is a king. Remember, the Bible says, talking about Nebuchadnezzar, whom he would, he slew. Whom he would, he kept alive. Whom he would, he lifted up. Whom he would, he put down. In other words, in order to fix this, Donald Trump would have to have total control. And that's what's needed, and that's what this prophecy is saying he'll get. "Mr. DJT, to what do I owe the honor of your visit?" He said, "Oh, Henry, never mind. We're family. This is just a family visit. I just came to see you." He sits and his wife puts his shawl over his shoulders. It drapes down in front of him and stands beside him. It's beautiful. It's made for royalty. The whole visit was strictly family. He was asking about our different children, how they're doing, and we were just visiting. Finally, he stands up and says, "Well, I've got a lot to do. You know, I'll be back. I'll be back. Says it twice. After the limo drives off, I wave my arms, trying to tell him he left his shawl. Then I hear another voice speak from behind me saying, he'll be back. I say, wow, okay, the vision ended. If there's anybody I know hears from God, it's Henry Gruber.
Separate my heart from the God who stays. I used to hide every time I thought I let you down. Always thought I had to earn my way, but I'm learning you don't work that way now. 'Cause somehow you don't see me like I do. Somehow you're still here. You're the God who stays. You're the God who stays. You're the one who runs in my direction when the whole world walks away. You're the God who stands with a wide open arms, and you tell me nothing I have ever done could separate my heart from the God who stays. My shame can't separate, my guilt can't separate, my past can't separate. I'm yours forever. My sin can't separate, my scars can't separate, my failures can't separate. I'm yours forever. No enemy can separate, no power of hell can take away. Your love for me will never change. I'm yours forever. 'Cause you're the God who stays. You're the God who stays. You're the one who runs in my direction when the whole world walks away. You're the God who stands with wide open arms, and you tell me nothing I have ever done could separate my heart from the God who stays. You're the God who stays. You're the one who runs in my direction when the whole world walks away. You're the God who stands with wide open arms, and you tell me nothing I have ever done could separate my heart from the God who stays.
God who saves. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Guys, I'm so happy that you guys can join us today. I don't know what can happen any moment here on this planet, but we know Yeshua is in charge. He's in charge. We're going to go on over here now and get into the Bible. We're going to get into Isaiah 41. And I really was reading Isaiah 41, 42, 43 last night, and I'm like, this just touched me. This one here is just really amazing. Because we got to understand who's in charge. We got to know who's in charge. You know, I don't care what's going on. I don't care who's doing what. I don't care if we have war, bloodshed, whatever comes on the planet. We need to be born again. We need to have the angels of God guarding us, covering us, watching over us, and giving our life to Jesus Christ, because he's the only one can save us and help us in any situation. You know, I was looking at the number 40. We were talking about the 40 years. And you know, in 40 years, the people didn't have to go and get new shoes. They didn't have to go into the dentist. They didn't have to go to the doctor. I mean, I think about that all the time. My tooth still holding on. Yeshua, no, he wants to be our everything in our life, our everything. I was telling my mom today, you know, some of these people that's going to doctors too much. They need to go to Yeshua and ask for a miracle, ask for a healing. And we just rather do that than to trust Yeshua. Why? What is that about? I don't know. I mean, you know, even if it takes all night, Like I told you, I had something happen. It took all night. By dawn, it was all gone away. It vanished, disappeared. Better than going to the hospital, getting all the surgery and all the things they tell me I need done, than to go to the man who made me, who know every part, who know every vein, who know everything about you, right? Everything. So we need to just be trusting and believing. So we're going to go on over here now and get into the Bible. I want you guys to share this video. I want to be adding some more things in the description box, some other news. I put double news down there every time on a video. If you haven't noticed, we always put additional news. So hope you go look at the description box and find those, okay? Let me go on. Father, be with us as we go to Psalm 41. Let your angels come. Let your Holy Spirit come and direct us. Help the people watching to understand that we're in the end, at the end. It's no time to play with you. No time to just play around, partying and playing and going on and just doing all these things. It's not going to matter. Not going to matter. We need to know that you're the only thing that matter. And you are calling people into your vineyard, calling us to come in, calling us to come and do work for you, work while it is day, because soon and very soon the trumpet will sound. So thank you so much for listening to us today. We ask that you be with us now in Jesus' name. So let's go ahead and read the Bible. It's just amazing things going on. Prophecies are fulfilling in every direction. So this is something that should encourage you. Man, I'm telling you, we need to get ready. We need to get ready, guys. No time to play with Yeshua. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
All right, hope I can get through this, folks. And while we're reading here, let's all be praying for that Republican front runner, because we're coming into a dangerous time here. Isaiah 41:1. Listen before me in silence, you coastlands. Let the ethnicities renew their strength. Let them come near and speak. Let us come near together to argue a dispute. Who has stirred up one from the east, calling him in righteousness to his service? He hands ethnicities over to him and helps him subdue kings. He turns them to dust with his sword, like wind-blown stubble with his bow. He pursues them and passes by safely, by a swift path that his feet scarcely touch. Who has performed and accomplished these deeds? Who has summoned the generations from the beginning? I, Yahweh, the first, and with the last, I am he. The isles have seen and are afraid. The ends of the earth tremble. They approach and come. Everyone helps his neighbor, and everyone says to one another, be encouraged. So the builder encourages the goldsmith, and he who works with the hammer encourages him who works with an anvil, saying of the welding, it is good. They fasten it with nails, so it will not topple over. But you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the offspring of Abraham, my friend. How many of you can say that? Friend of Yahweh. You whom I am bringing back from the ends of the earth, and whom I called from the faraway places, and to whom I said, you are my servant. I have chosen you and not rejected you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be anxious, for I am your divine one. I will strengthen you, and I will help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. See, they will be ashamed and disgraced. All who have been angry with you, they will be as nothing and will perish, those who oppose you. There's a good promise to hold on to. You will seek and will not find those who contended with you. Those who warred against you will be like nothing. Absolutely nothing.
People are going to laugh at us eventually. Good. People are going to laugh. They're going to scorn. They're going to mock. They're doing it now. But you should be uplifting the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. Oh, Father, help me, get me through this. He will do it. Trust in him, believe in him. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
For I, Yahweh, your divine one, will hold your right hand, saying to you, do not fear, I am helping you. Do not fear, Jacob, you worm, and you adults of Israel, I will help you, declares Yahweh, your Redeemer, the set-apart one of Israel. Look, I am making you like a sharp threshing sledge, new and two-edged. You will thresh the mountains and crush them. You will make the hills like chaff. You will winnow them, and the wind will carry them away. The wind will scatter them. You will rejoice in Yahweh. You will rejoice in the set-apart one of Israel. The oppressed and needy look for water, but there is none, and their tongues are parched for thirst. I, Yahweh, will respond to their prayers. I, the mighty one of Israel, will not forsake them. I will make streams to flow down the slopes and springs in the middle of the valleys. I will make the desert into a pool of water, and the dry land into springs of water. In the wilderness I will set the cedar, the acacia, the myrtle, and the olive tree. I will set the cypress in the desert plain with the pines and the cedar box trees. I will do this so that the people may see, recognize, and understand together that the hand of Yahweh has done this, that the set-apart one of Israel has created it.
Well, look at those tomatoes that was showing in Jerusalem when they were showing that in the beginning of the video. Oh my goodness, red and nothing
I bet
like.
they taste like tomatoes. Wow, what a concept.
Oh boy, go ahead.
Present your case, says Yahweh. Present your best arguments for your idols, says the King of Jacob. Let them bring us their own arguments. Have them come forward and declare to us what will happen, so we may know these things well. Have them tell us of earlier predictive declarations, so we can reflect on them and know how they were fulfilled. Tell things about the future, that we may know if you are deities. Do something good or evil, that we may be frightened and impressed. See, you idols are nothing, and your deeds are nothing. The one who chooses you is detestable. I have raised up one from the north, and he comes. From the sun's rising, I summon him who calls on my name, and he will trample the rulers like mud, like a potter who is treading on the clay.
Yeah.
Who announced this from the beginning, that we might know? Before this time, that we may say, he is right. Indeed, none of them decreed it. Yes, none heard you say anything. I first said to Zion, look, here they are. I sent a herald to Jerusalem. When I look, there is no one, not one among them who can give good advice, who, when I ask, can answer a word. Look, all of them are nothing, and their deeds are nothing. Their cast metal figures are wind and emptiness. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Put you in your place. He knows how to do it.
Why are we trusting? Why aren't we on the right side? Why aren't we on the right side, guys? It's time to give up this world. It's time to give up this world. You know, last night I was talking to the Father, and he was showing me about that. And I'm going to come back and talk about that on another video, but he was showing me how we need to really understand who he is. We need to really understand that the devil was thrown out of heaven, and he had a host of angels with him, and now we got all these fallen angels and Nephilim spirits and Nephilim giants and whatever you want to call it, all around here arming up with the devil. And you know, like he's the devil, you know, he just always been that way. And like I said, trying to get people to bow down to him. Oh, bow down to me and I'll give you all these things. He even told Yeshua that. And we need to understand the things going on around us, the viruses and all these things coming, and you know, just all kind of disasters. And this earth is going to be set on fire, war, bloodshed. You know, and you know, you need salvation today, guys. If you haven't given your life to Jesus Christ Yeshua, it's time to do it right now. It's time to do it right now. It is free for the asking. If you want to believe it, go read Isaiah 55. It is free for the asking. If you know that there's no way, no money, you don't need no money to buy it, you don't need nothing, you just need to go and say, Father, I'm a sinner. Come in my heart, come in my life, come in my soul, change me from Adam's seed to your seed. I need my DNA changed. You need to do it. Let him do the heart surgery. It's time is really going fast before us. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understanding. That's really what it's about. And you know, little babies come into the world, they don't know, they have to depend on God and their parents to take care of them. And so this is what he's saying. Lean not on your own understanding, but trust in him. Because we're going to have so many things going on, guys. Already, it's time to pray and fast like never before and get your life right. So let's go on over here and get into July 31st. We're going to get here to July 31st. High time to awake. High time to awake. It really is high time to awake.
July 31, high time to awake, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Romans 13, 11, and 12. The great controversy is nearing its end, Every report of calamity by sea or land is a testimony to the fact that the end of all things is at hand. Wars and rumors of wars declare it. Is there a Christian whose pulse does not beat with quickened action as he anticipates the great events opening before us? The Lord is coming. We hear the footsteps of an approaching God. This knowledge of the nearness of Christ's coming should not be allowed to lose its force, and we become careless and inattentive and fall into slumber, into an insensibility and indifference to realities. In slumber we are in an unreal world and not sensible of the things which are taking place around us. There are those who have the blazing light of truth shining all around them and yet are insensible to it. They are enchanted by the enemy, held under a spell by his bewitching power. They are not preparing for that great day which is soon to come to our world. They seem utterly insensible to religious truth. Are there not some youth who are awake, those who see that the night cometh and also the morning, should work with untiring energy to arouse their sleeping associates? Can they not feel their peril, pray for them, and show them by their own life and character that they believe themselves that Christ is soon to come? The rapidly diminishing space of time between us and eternity should more deeply impress us. Every day that passes makes one less left us to complete our work of perfecting character. As long as there are many asleep, many sporting away the precious hours in careless indifference, as it were, upon the very brink of the eternal world, those who do believe must be sober, must be awake, must be earnest and diligent, and watch unto prayer. Have you, dear youth, your lamps trimmed and burning?
Yeah, young people need to wake up. All of us need to wake up. I'm going to go ahead and close out now, guys. I'm telling you, I don't know what to say. There's so much drugs around. The devil just got his tactics all around, trying to get you to come into his kingdom. And Yeshua was saying his two kingdoms. You can go into Satan's kingdoms, or you can go into my kingdom. You don't have but two choices. So who kingdom are you going to follow today? Who kingdom are you going to, be a part of today? I don't want to have nothing to do with a loser. He's a loser. Why would I want to be in a loser's kingdom? Yeshua said that he have overcome the world. And so he said he will come again. And so this man who trying to destroy everybody and everything, he's going to be taken down, taken out. Why do you want to be a part of his army? Why do you want to be a part of Wood, Rock, and Stone? Why do you want to be a part of all these false religions? Why do you want to be a part of all this dope and smoke and stuff that people get into and get addictions in your life? A lot of people get addicted to sex. A lot of people get addicted to food. A lot of people get addicted to drugs, alcohol, whatever it may be. Kids are killing their mothers and fathers. Grandmothers killing their grandchildren. It's just so much evil all around the world. And Yeshua is about tired of it. He is tired of it. So he's making his separations. He's choosing those who are going to follow him, be with him, stand for him. And it's time for you to make a choice today if you haven't. Because I'm telling you, it's about to hit the fan so quick. Like he just said, Stan, it's hitting the fan in Texas. It's hitting the fan everywhere, all over in Israel. A lot of people still in captivity. We need to know that the army is before us and the party is over. The party is over. I know football's coming. I know Super Bowl's coming. I know people all getting, I see the stadiums on TV. Don't you see the stadiums, how they packed up full? And then COVID was even around. Before COVID came, it wasn't even that many people in stadiums. Then after COVID have gone, all these people in stadiums like I never seen in my life. I'm like, wow, where did the money come from? Guess where it come from? Guess where it come from? We got bank runs, we got drug runs, we got drug lords, it's just all kind of stuff is happening, guys. We need to know Whose side we're going to be on. So I'm going to leave that with you to think about. If you haven't given your life to Jesus Christ, as it says here for John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. You should want to have everlasting life, not be kicked around, beat up, put out, homeless, whatever. Yeshua said he go to prepare a place for us. Don't you want to be in that place? Don't you want to be in that place today? You should want to be in that place today, guys. I'm telling you. But buy my ebook titled He Did What from Amazon.com, Apple, Google, Kobo.com, Lulu.com, and Barnes & Noble. The link is on the screen. ISBN number on the screen. It should be listed for $2.99. Like I said, if you want the paperback, you can write me, Marner. I like to have one I could put in my hand and read in my hand and read in, you know, you can have it. Just write me and ask for a copy. Send a donation if you like to help with the missions, and that's where all the money go to the missions and the homeless and the widows. This month we are supporting missions over in Tennessee area. Helping people over there with homeless and soup lines and things they do over there in Tennessee. So that's what we're going to do this month. So we really thank you for the offerings coming in. So we really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Download Gene's free eBible from Lulu.com, Kobo.com, Smashwords, Scribd, FMCMI.org. Read the Son of Man Bible PDF for free. Download the Son of Man Bible Computer Bible modules for free. Download free at BibleSupport.com and WordModulars.com. King James Version Bible, download Gene's free Son of the Version, King James Version Bible modulars, same locations. One modular is SOTV KJV. One has the Apocrypha, SOTV KJVA. Also, we really want to thank you again and again for all your offerings to help the homeless, the orphans, the widows, those that need mission fields. May Yahuwah richly bless each and every one of you. Also, we're gonna go here and FMCMI Alternative Channel, Rumble.com, BitChute.com, Facebook.com, FMCMI.org, and so donate at Cash App, and also donate at FMCMI.org, Marner.Campbell@gmail.com, at PayPal. Mailing your donations at Fill My Cup Ministries, Post Office Box 414, Canon City, Colorado 81215. Shipping address, Fill My Cup Ministries, 1501 Main Street, number 414, Canon City, Colorado 81212. Click subscribe to like bell, subscribe to our YouTube channel, click the like button, click the notification bell. Our digital business cards and our hashtags are on the screen. We really appreciate each and every one of you for being here today. I tell you guys, be praying for Texas, praying for America, praying for Israel, praying for the nations. It's just so much is happening. So we're going to go ahead and let my husband close out with prayer as you go. We get ready to go into Sabbath right now. So we're going to go ahead and pray. Don't forget the homeless, though, in your areas as well. We're going to be, like I say, helping people in Tennessee this month to get some things distributed over there in Tennessee. But we also be looking for people in our local areas here as well all the time. So we really appreciate each and every one of you guys. So let me go ahead and let him pray before I start preaching again here. Hold on.
Wow. Okay. Well, Father, thank you. We thank you for everything, Father. We thank you for your provision. We thank you for your love and forgiveness, Father. And help more people repent of their sin and turn to you for salvation. We thank you for the video, and everybody gets to view it, Father. Thank you for all our donors and our contributors, Father, our prayer partners, everybody out in the field working, Father. Bless them, protect them from the enemy while they build your kingdom.
Yes.
In Yeshua's name, amen.
You guys have a wonderful Sabbath. Take some time and really give some time to the Father. You know, it's really time for give time to the Lord and let him know that you love him and appreciate him, because I'm telling you, we're going to have to hold on to him like we never have before. So I'm going to say good night, and you guys have a wonderful Shabbat, and we'll be back when we can. So I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom, and have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat. Love you guys so much.
Bye-bye.